There's a crypto stealing the thunder in the market right now, and that's where the cash is flowing. But they're throwing FUD at it. We're also going to talk about some BTC and Cftc. Well, why the Cftc? Because supposedly that's who's going to be regulating crypto. Oh, crypto reg update. That's right. We'll talk that. XRP price, along with...
I say lots of naughty things, so here's your warning.
Along with me forgetting to put the lights on in the intro. For real, go back and take a look. It was just darkness behind me. How come y'all didn't let me know? Well, I'm sure you will in the comments. And speaking of comments, we do your comments at the beginning of every video because you are the viewer and you matter most. It's Saturday morning and I'm bringing you the news. Silly Sam is dropping some support on us from South Africa. Thank you, Sam. Says, hi, Klaus. Heck, I know more of what's going on in the markets than in my own country. Yeah, he's talking about the U.S. markets because of all those lives. He says, thanks for the live streams and all the real news. Big fan, choo-choo bitches. We'll definitely be doing more live streams. Y'all seem to really have enjoyed that, and when Congress starts doing big things, we'll cover it. Janice G, one of the 7% of females who watch the channel, says it's midnight. And I'm tired, but I have to tell you, your disclaimer is freaking hilarious. This is a rough market, good content. Yeah, the disclaimer in the beginning is because I do say naughty things. Bongs, dongs, and gongs, huh? We're just getting started this Saturday. Thank you, Janice, for not making this such a sausage fest. Like I said, 7% of the viewers are women. The Hudsons says at the 829 mark, I'm curious how the timing of the ETF and the timing of the drops in the market always seem to coincide with each other. It's like the big guys want a better deal on what they're buying into. Look, the big guys have so much money that for them, there's always something on sale. And that's what you have to remember. Maybe it's not crypto that's on sale. Maybe it's like banking stocks. Maybe it's dividend stuff. There's always something on sale. Maybe it's certain real estate segments, you know? Either way, bigs always have money. There's always something on sale, and they're heavily diversified. Learn from the bigs, and you will be good. Heat map, ooh, okay, not the best, because look at these prices. Bitcoin at 96,000, XRP 225, BNB at 936. ZCASH, though, deep in the green, up 19%, making another move at it. Way to go, ZCASH fans. XRP, like I said, is struggling, but so are the alts. The altcoin season, though, is at 33 out of 100. Volume's at 156 billion right now, down 41%, but still strong for the weekend. Outflows, yep, we had more outflows. $500 million in outflows for BTC and 177 million outflows for ETH. Recently, big time softness in the market, but remember, though, there hasn't been any outflows yet for Solana's Bitwise ETF. That's right. Despite the high price volatility, Solana has become the center of attention in Wall Street as its first spot ETF has continued to record strong daily inflows for the first 2 weeks of being listed. So no, Sol holders aren't making the money because look, you can go to Sol right here. You're at $141. So it's not really like helping out the price of that yet, okay? But yo, this is bringing confidence to the market that these players can launch altcoin-based ETFs and they can make them money, which means what? Other altcoin ETFs are going to make these players money, and well, that's good. It'll just bring more money into the segment. Impressively, from the day BSOL commenced trading on October 28th to November 14th, the Solana Investment Fund has attracted $357 million in combined inflows. Grayscale's GSOL, otherwise known as G-Unit, on the other hand, which launched a day after BSOL, so you got GSOL and BSOL. What about a little bit of KSOL? Has been relatively slow performing since its launch. So far, GSOL has added $24.4 million. Grayscale has an IPO. Their profits have gone down. Their top line sales have gone down. All while things have been super busy from this time last year compared to the previous year. And they have a lot of outflows. Why? They're very expensive. When it comes to ETFs, Grayscale charges a lot of money. So, Solana ETFs doing juicy, but Solana price, wah, wah, wah. That wasn't a sound effect. That was me. That's pretty cool. Bitcoin price stumbles below 95,000 as liquidity shifts and Fed transition drives market repricing. Okay, liquidity is shifting. Certain players are gobbling up a lot of that liquidity, right? Because crypto is about pumps and dumps. People go where it's hot. That's okay. The Fed, we got some issues there, but this is what they say. They said the Fed is going to eventually ease it on up. Thorne argues that the U.S. government's reopening after a 43-day shutdown and the Treasury's renewed management of the Treasury General account signal an imminent injection of liquidity in the markets. Okay, but will they make its way to the crypto markets? That's what you have to pay attention to. He expects quantitative tightening to end shortly, paving the way for continued rate cuts until the federal fund rate drops towards 2.75. 2026 is the reshaping of the FOMC, including the replacement of Powell. Remember, Jerome Powell is done in May of 2026. So we could get rid of that fuddy-duddy and get someone a bit more hip in there. Thorne identifies a housing recession as the direct consequence of the Fed's policy mistakes. I've been saying that for a while. The Fed's left rates so high, it's crushed housing. Yet, despite these headwinds, he highlights surging Bitcoin adoption driven by the forthcoming regulatory clarity and unmatched digital scarcity of BTC, institutional engagement. I get that. But BTC is still subject to what? Global macro sucking. BTC touched an all-time high in October, like a couple weeks ago. That was 30,000 ago. BTC 126, now we're at 96. Interesting. Now, the CFTC is set to oversee crypto. Oh, okay. According to Jeff Park, partner and chief investment officer at ProCap BTC, the proposed crypto structure bill clearly signals a shift in regulatory oversight to the CFTC, more away from the SEC. Why? Because cryptos are going to be viewed as commodities, not securities. Commodities, think of your gold, think of your silver, palladium, oil, stuff like that. Park shared these insights in a recent podcast with Anthony Pompliano, highlighting the complications of this shift. The bill, he notes, is likely to reduce power of the SEC in favor of the CFTC. Park emphasized that the CFTC's mandate is better suited to address the dynamic nature of cryptocurrencies, particularly their focus on capital efficiency, derivatives, leverage, and financial innovation. I totally agree. Now, they say we are 90% done with the regs. Our window to get the regs done is going to look like this. We've got a window from now through about mid-December. Mid-December, they're going to start debating again on what? Continuing resolution and budget stuff. Yeah, because the government's going to shut down again at the end of January if they don't get it done. So Thune said that they're going to start their stuff early, their discussions weeks in advance, so they're not waiting to the last minute. That's a great idea, Thune. Not like last time where you waited to the last minute. Now, that being said, if the government shutdown doesn't happen, okay, then we should have time after January to do all this, right? Like think of mid-January through. If the government shutdown does happen, well, look, we waited 43 days last time. Who knows how long it will go this time? There's a lot of Democrats pissed. So that could push regs even further. The problem is if that pushes further, like if we have another government shutdown, crypto will absolutely shit the bed. Prices that you're seeing here will look great compared to what will happen. Why? Because if we shut down again, by the time we come back from the shutdown, those same politicians are working on voting season. So they're not going to be working on regs or any legislation. They're going to be working on trying to get hired again. That's not good. Now, there's no need for ZCASH. Sam Simao tells retail traders, we got a BTC maxi pissed. Pissed at what? The fact that ZCASH is running. Look at this. Up 65% right now in volume, while the entire crypto market is down 41%. Money is rotating to what's hot, and Zcash is what's hot right now. The CEO of Jan3, Sam Simao, has pushed back on the narrative that retail traders need to buy Zcash as a way to invest in encrypted Bitcoin. This guy's a maxi, okay? So what he's basically saying is, look, just buy Bitcoin and use a little bit of Lightning Network, a little bit of layer 2 action, and boom, you could be good with that. Basically, he's pissed because Zcash is taking away from the BTC play. I mean, look at, this is their chart. Now, granted, it pumps and dumps, right? And got to another low of 440 after getting up here close to like 725, 735. Cool. So it's pumps and dumps. It's starting to make another pump again and starting to make another moveroni again. And that's why players like Mao are like, no, you can still do BTC. You don't need to buy Zcash because Zcash takes away money from BTC. In essence, retail users do not need to pivot towards Zcash as Bitcoin is already considered an encrypted privacy chain enhancing solution. Yes, but Bitcoin is slow. You have to use layer 2 action, and not everyone wants to get into BTC and Maxi, so keep an eye out for Zcash. Now, XRP's volume is down with the market, right? That makes sense. XRP's volume 4 billion right now, down 51%. ETFs for XRP have been horrible. In fact, let's take a look at them. And remember, the Canary Capital XRP ETF is XRPC for Canary, okay? XRPC. Yeah, that's a really shitty chart right there. Okay, so maybe we won't look at this. We'll go back to XRP. And let's look at that chart. Ah, shit, that's a really shitty one too. Okay, XRP feeling the volatility. Why? Because the market out there is digesting the fact that, yeah, we might not get regs. Yeah, we might not get another rate cut. Yeah, there's going to be a huge ripple effect of problems that we're going to have to deal with over the next several months because of the government shutdown. So your risky assets like the altcoins, the majority of them are what? In the red. Yes, there are certain ones like ZCASH that are just absolutely roaring. Monero, another privacy one, up 10% right now. But big chunks of the market like Aptos down 3.5%. That's not good. WorldCoin down 4%. Crow down 1.5%. Ton down 3.3%. So you can see the majority of the market is still in the red. XRP, one of those. Most of the risky assets are down as safe haven assets are up. And if we don't get rate cuts, the December meeting, remember, there's no meeting in November. If we don't get rate cuts at the December meeting, what does that do? Makes your stuff more expensive for longer, which means what? People have less cash to invest in risky things. The other thing we got to think about too is, how do you think this is going to work during the Christmas season? A lot of the retail market has already tapped out their credit cards, right? Credit limits are pushed pretty high. So can we expect a retail pump in the back half of this fourth quarter for the altcoins? That's going to be tough. An institutional pump? Well, I mean, we do have those ETFs, and well, maybe even more will get approved, and maybe that's what we need to get things going. See, the background lights are on now. Yeah, that intro segment looked a little weird. It's like me coming out of a little bit of a cave. But the ETFs are honestly a mixed bag. I mean, ETFs were great for BTC, but you saw the billions and billions and billions and billions of dollars that like went into it. It was nuts. Now, the Sol one, yes, 2 weeks of inflows, but 300-ish million of inflows compared to the BTC and ETH, billions and billions, billions. So maybe, yeah, the ETFs are good. There's just not enough play getting into them, especially the spot ETFs. Look at the Canary Capital one with XRPC. That's not a good start to things, right? Just now, that being said, there are certain things that are hot, but remember, that's how the market has been. We saw ICP, last week? This last week was juicy AF. ZCASH roaring yet again. ETH, for a few weeks, right, was absolutely bonkers, touching some big numbers. BTC touched all-time highs like a month or so less ago. So, yeah, we're not seeing the entire market rise up or the entire market take a poop. No, actually, we are seeing the entire market take a poop when the United States government gets involved. But it's not like the previous days where when we saw capital injections, the entire market would just like lift unanimously. It's a very different game right now. And it's going to be a very different game if we don't get these reg-a-ronies. So I'm going to keep an eye out for government shutdown news. Why? Because this was just a temporary funding bill, ladies and gents. Because if we shut down again, you basically can kiss regs goodbye for 2026. Because those politicians are going to be politicking for their jobs, telling you how great of a job they did. Fire them all. They all fucking suck. Choo-choo what? Well, happy Saturday. Choo-choo bitches. And do you like the nighttime videos? Let me know down below.